following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1.
Regional semifinals, the straight 16 begins here in Jackpot June in the 2025 MRE Uno Tournament T4. Good morning or good everybody. I'm Seth Cole. I'm going to be joined here shortly by Short. As we get ready to kick this thing off here, we now are down to our straight 16. We're in the Spades region today for our only streamed game today. And boy, do we have a good one, as we've got the number 1 seeded Mack Johnson against the number 4 seeded Verigold. Both of these individuals coming into this straight 16 matchup with a lot of momentum, but as we say, unfortunately, only one can move on to the round of 8. Of course, coming in the number 1 seed here for Mack Johnson, he had a bye back during the round of 64. Verigold been on a good streak as of late after defeating yours truly back in the round of 64 and then sweeping Ellison in what was a 4 versus 4 matchup. Defeated him in the Tilt 32, an easy 4-0. A 4-1 victory for Mack Johnson against a very game 8-seeded Hockey back in the Tilt 32. Both riding some really good records coming in this tournament. Both, as you see, have been a little bit rocky as they've entered into the round of 16, and both of them tournament winners here in Division 1. This is what they're looking to move on to here in the bracket, as tomorrow at 2 o'clock we're going to have a very interesting 7 versus 14 seed matchup between Nam and Brian N. Winner of that will take on the winner of this one here today. And as mentioned, this is the only streamed game we've got today. Doesn't mean that there isn't going to be action taking place during the course of the afternoon and into the evening hours. As in the clubs region, you're going to have Brad taking on Arya at 7. Diamonds region sees G-Man taking on Lane Sanders in a 2 versus 3 seed matchup. And then we close out the night at 9:30 in the Hearts region with Toaster Guy taking on Lara. But that sets us up for what's going to be an incredible matchup here today of Pack versus Gold. I've got Short here with me on commentary, and Short, both of these two on paper, it looks like it's a pretty even matchup. They both come in with a lot of momentum. It's kind of hard to see any favorite in this one, which kind of brings back what we've seen, especially back in that round of 32 where we had even matchups across the board. But the bot, what it distributes out in terms of ammo, that's going to maybe be the deciding factor here in this best of 9.
Yeah, plain and simple, this was nearly the finale of T3. If it weren't for Brad beating Gold 6-4 in the Final Four, this would have been the finale matchup, the final act of Movie May. But looking forward to this one, all Illinois battle as a fellow Illinoisan. Very looking forward to this. Again, we saw this last tournament, obviously. Believe it was Pack and... Wasn't it Pack and Peter? No, that might have been a different tournament. But anyway, all Illinois battle as well. We've seen a lot of those players perform well. But also for Pack, he's he's at 7-2. He's won a tournament. He's already locked in, but he's the only 1 seed left. He's just kind of playing to win. Really, there really isn't much more other than seeding for him to play for. Gold trying to push further up into the Super League conversation. 6-3, solid spot to be. At this point, with a top 5 finish, looking to try and do that again, and should be a fun one for sure. I'm expecting a pretty close one.
Yeah, great point there that you made as well, with Pack being the last of the number 1 seeds. I believe it was himself and Monkey were the 2 remaining going into the round of 32, and on Tuesday, Cody Lamas with an upset victory. So the last of the representatives of all the 4 respective regions in the number 1 seed here for Pack Johnson. Now, we understand that that Pack is watching the stream, so he's going to be answering the questions that we verbally say to him over the stream. He'll be answering that in the chat. We do have a Verigold here as well. So we'll start first with Pack, then we'll go to Verigold as far as the questions are concerned. That way we can get the answers in a timely fashion. So Pack, coming in with a lot of momentum. You're the last standing of the number 1 seeds. You've been here before. You've been to the top of the mountain back there during Movie May. An opportunity for back-to-back tournament championships. But as we mentioned, Verigold's come into this matchup with some pretty decisive victories back in the round of 64 and the round of 32. What can you channel back from 1 month ago to take one step closer towards the promised land for back-to-back tournament victories? And Short, if you want to ask the questions here for Gold, go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Gold, obviously, I just mentioned the fact that this was very nearly the finale between you two and T3 if it hadn't been for Brad sending you to the 3rd place game. So thoughts on playing this one? Obviously, playing a fellow statesman in Pack, and obviously, going up against a tournament winner, definitely some stiff competition. And also, 6 wins coming in, trying to push your way further up the standings. Don't know if Gold's gonna type or talk. No idea.
Oh, looks
Type.
Looks like he's gonna type.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, all good.
So as we're getting the respective answers to our questions here, I mean, can you repeat the last bit? My headphones are a bit too quiet. Oh, no problem. I was just gonna. I was basically, the last part of the question was, you've been here before. You took the T3 tournament back in Movie May. What can you kind of channel from what you were able to find with success 1 month ago to help you take one step closer here to maybe closing out Jackpot June with back-to-back tournament victories here in T3?
Well, that's for Pack.
T4.
That was for Gold. Sorry, that was Pack's question.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm blind.
That was Gold. Yeah, no, you're good. Gold. I guess just trying to push further up in Super League. Obviously, you're at 6 wins. You're in a solid position here. You're just 1 win less than the fellow tournament winner and statesman and Pack here. Just thoughts on taking this as a springboard, continuing to push further, stay on the gas, I guess.
Pack says, still on house money from last month. Biggest difference for me is I'm the home player now instead of being the lowest seed and always being the away player. The fact that I'm not playing to get out of regulation, I'm playing for seeding now in Super League, is all that matters to me, is to get the best seed possible for Super League. And that's a thing too that we're going to be talking a lot about when we eventually get to T5 here, Short, but players are already making plans for that Super League.
Yeah, definitely. Pack is just one of 3 to be guaranteed in the BKK, but there's still a lot of players obviously around them that you'd expect to be there. Like, you see guys like Toast, Ypez, Myth. I mean, all the ones except one were, or I think, let me double check that one's. Yeah, all the ones were on Bye Island this tournament, so they both have only had 1 game under their belt, and Pack was the only one to keep it going. All the other ones fell, so controlling the tournament, a little bit of the house money to an extent, and also you're not really playing for your life it's not life or death situation in terms of your season, whether it be the relegation, like he said, or relegation, or just making Super League. You've made it, so he wants to just keep pushing further, and I can respect that kind of mindset.
And Gold answering saying thinks it's an excellent opportunity. A win here would, in his mind, nearly lock him into Super League. Of course, it's not for certain, but the momentum would certainly be on his side. And if he loses, there's not much of a better player to lose to. An interesting point of fact here as well, as we look into this, obviously with the higher seed, one would consider the Pack to be the favorite here against Gold. However, in terms of Sweet 16 appearances, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. 3 appearances for Mack, but 6 appearances here in the round of 16 for Verigold. So if you look maybe in terms of the veteran experience of being this far up in a tournament, maybe the advantage shifts to Verigold. We'll have to see. I mean, like I said, it's pretty stagnant as far as what the momentum both of them have statistically coming in.
Yeah, and it's a lot of... Verigold had a lot of success in their first season in 23, came in T3 and won T4 actually 2 seasons ago. So and also had a couple of top 10 finishes after that fact. Obviously 24 was not the strongest season. Had a couple good tournaments to start, but didn't quite, kind of tapered off in the end, and now starting to try and won the first tournament they were in. I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong lines again. Dang it. But had a couple top 20s, I should say, and just a tough out in the other 3 tournaments in 24. But now trying to turn it around. It's kind of interesting how Gold has gone up, down, back up again. And I think that, and a lot of we've seen a lot of the OGs from 23, kind of start to gain their footing again. And I think for them, they were, what I thought was that they were really adapting to all the new heads that you see in the league. Cause we all know how crazy good that rookie class was the season ago. And I think with all those new heads, some of those new players just had to realize they needed to adapt their style, find more looks, because there are so many looks across this league now, so many strategies. Yeah, I know, I had that wrong. I was reading the start seeds, not the finish seeds. Silly me, but they've been able to adapt. Look at what Peter's done. Didn't really have much to speak of last season, and now he's still got some work to do, but still trying to maybe get back to Super League at 4 wins right now, but having to use T5 as a springboard to try and get up there, has some work to do, but it's definitely still had better season, and so is Gold. It's been that way. And Arya as well, after a season off, going to be playing later tonight against Brad. There's a lot to talk about, and these guys, a lot of changing the faces. There's so much competition. The level of experience and competition just keeps narrowing. There is no clear divide of more experienced, better players as to less experienced, not as great players. There's just so many great players in the league.
And I love what you touched on there too, the graduating class, if you will, from D2 to D1, how well the rookies showed out back in Movie May. And they showed out here in Jackpot June as well. A couple of them moved on to the round of 32. As a matter of fact, Background is making a first-time appearance in the round of 16 here as well. The period of adjustment, if you will, for the seasoned veterans getting used to the new blood. Been interesting to kind of see how that evolves. Now, for those that have never tuned into a matchup this late into a tournament, our usual best of 7 games in the round of 64, the round of 32, that's out the window. These are best of 9 matchups, and the way it basically works is Pack Johnson being the highest seed. He'll get the first 2 homestands. Next 2 homestands go to Gold. Next 2 homestands go to Pack Johnson. Next 2 homestands go to Gold, and should we need a 9th and final game, Pack Johnson would have that final homestand. Only 1 power play to utilize here, though, and potentially a maximum of 9 a game short. So it's kind of easy to figure out when you want to use it in a best of 7. We normally see the median between maybe games 4 to 6. Now you really got a wide open playing field on when do you use it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do 13 to start, but the thing I've always thought about the power play is that, one can there are so many different ways to use it. You can use it as a momentum shift. It almost ultimately depends on how the series goes. Like we remember that when we did Ed Acosta, and it was Ed kind of used it as kind of a momentum shifter to try and shift things his way, and he was able to get it to the end of to game 9. Didn't win that, but got to the game 9, and I think it was kind of credit to that power play. And then there are just some people that'll be like, it's the power play lock, gotta save it for the game where you can lock up the series. And then there's some people like Lane Sanders who'll use it in game 2 just to get a win. There are so many ways to go about it, and that's what makes it such a great mechanic.
Well, shout out Christian Tago. He's our referee, and looks like these players are itching to get going here in our only
Telling us to
stream
shut
game.
up.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying, we don't care about the stats and all the preface and everything. Let's get playing here, as it should potentially be a long one. Here we go. 13 card start. Here is the request of the homestand for Pack Johnson, and we are underway here in the first of our round of 16 matchups.
Zach red 2 to start us off, and Pack's going to go for his own red 0.
There you look at that.
Right off the bat. There you go.
So 13 card start as we document kind of the upper tier there. So you're kind of searching for ammunition at this point in this first game, and a little double play there from Pack Johnson to take the advantage.
Yeah, quick double play. Obviously, we talk about higher tier, like 13 to 15. You don't usually see too many big swings of momentum until you get a few turns in. Pack just with that quick double to try and take a little bit of an advantage more than just the possession arrow.
Be interesting to see, we always talk about the fact that no two hands are usually alike, but we have had quite a number of series here, specifically in the round of 32, where a lot of it was similar. You ended up having a lot of the same looks, a lot of the same ammo. A couple of top players ended up getting nothing in terms of ammo for most of their series and having to work with numbers. So we'll see if it fluctuates during the course of this series, or if we end up seeing a lot of similarities from game to game.
Yeah, and again, that we talk about all the strategy in this league, how many different strategies you could go up against, but ultimately, Uno's down to a game of luck, and sometimes that's just how things go with the hands. Nothing much you can do about that. I still think, though, with this bot system that we've been running now, it's going to be a year next tournament. It's still
Wow.
We're seeing much more competitive action than we saw at this time last year, where we were still on the old bot and people were getting 3+4s a hand and finishing the game in like 10 to 15 minutes. Now you can still see that happen, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have 3+4s on one side. But ultimately, you look at any stat, like we rarely see, and we also have the card strength metric, which has been a crazy good tool to really evaluate how much the hands played into it, and we haven't really seen as many such lopsided games, but they can still happen because, again, it's down to a game of luck. So ultimately, sometimes you just got to pick it up and move on if that happens, and just keep trying to play your game, because some days it's just not your day. But we'll see how it plays out in this series.
Pack down to 6 with gold at 8. And you talk about luck. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times here in Jackpot June that we've ended up seeing some incredibly lucky top deck draws as well. Sometimes +2s
no
or
doubt.
+4s that just completely change the momentum of a game.
Exactly. Might see that a little bit with Tapir. I believe saw that in round 1. It was kind of just up against JT, who's been just snake bitten all season, and happened to be down to a power play, timely, and it was the right draw at the right time to close out that series with JT again for Tapir, and it definitely, or at least to get it done in game 6 to force it into a game 7, and that was just an absurd game, and we obviously had to give the man 33rd in the results. He definitely deserved it after that, because the ridiculous luck, and you got to feel for the man, but there's plenty of luck and strategy involved.
We are maybe down into the end zone here for both players. Who's going to fire the first shot to maybe have a close out here for this first game? 3 for Pack, 4 for Gold. There is almost the answer. Down to check with a triple play is Gold. Now the question is, does Pack have the 3 cards to get him to the finish line? Oh, he doesn't!
Oh my,
but
what a save.
He draws him back at least, and now he's down to check.
What a save. That is absurd.
What does Gold get on the return, though? Is it something to ice him out? Oh, man.
Is that good?
Oh,
yes.
He iced him out. Wow.
It is good.
We always talk about the return. Sometimes it can bite you. Sometimes it can help you. This time it bit Pack, and now he's iced out on yellow. Oh, they're both iced now.
Oh, man.
Wow, I thought it was going to be plan A for one of these two, but nope, we got to pull out a different playbook here as we're into a draw city.
Pack. Crazy save.
Some good ammunition used there in the closing stage as a +4 off the table, a wild off the table. We saw a couple of little double plays going on there with the reverses and the skips, but now we're searching either for a light switch or some ammunition. Gold finds a top deck there with the 2. Can he use that to swap off to a different color? No. Oh. Maybe holding on to that yellow reverse and then
trying to leave it open.
The yellow 6.
Or top decking the other way, who knows?
Yeah.
But I mean, takes a slight advantage in draw city, which can help him consider to make the break. Because if you're even, you never know what the other side could have to try and pull it back ahead. But there's Gold with a wink 6. Nobody's going to make anything off of that.
Nope, just dittos what initially was there. So we're going to continue here in the draw city. It's interesting too, the difference between a best of 7 and a best of 9. I'll hear a lot of times when a player is at home in the first game and they end up losing to a player on the road, and they say, "I just have to take that here. It's fine. I'll try and get a bit of a run here, get one back in the following game." Is it even more so that you're okay with losing the first game here when it's a best of 9?
Yeah, there's a lot more Uno to be played in a best of 9. You have to get to 5 wins, and there's also the fact that 2-game homestands last most of the series, so you'll have another chance to get a 2-game homestand. And Clint play moment for Gold, but
you're having a little trouble here.
You definitely have a little bit more breathing room, but it also makes it just kind of pushes the pivotal games down a little bit, because we still talk about how 2-2 is different from 3-1, but 3-2 is different from 4-1. Like, it's the same thing. It's just a little bit of a longer run to the more pivotal high-stakes games in the series.
Well, we finally got off of yellow. Now we're into red, and Pack's iced out in red. So, oh wow, they're both iced out in red. So 2-color hands on both sides.
Ooh.
Blue and green, obviously, what they're looking for. There's the swap over into green. Question is, did they draw back any more yellow now after being stuck in red?
Green's the least played color here, so we're probably going to see some things happen here. And there's a double.
We had Arya, Brad, Lara all right there being played. They're all in action later on this evening. Arya at 7 against Brad. Lara late night here at 9:30 against Toaster Guy. And now Gold iced out in green. Can Pack run any longer here in green? Establish this color? Yes, he can. Continues to hold that advantage here on this homestand.
So see, Brian there will play tomorrow afternoon against Nam. in this region.
Yeah, winner of that matchup takes on the winner of this one here today. As we're now back into the blue, the light switch there by Pack.
Yeah, what a run for Brian though. My goodness.
Yeah, incredible.
He finally
gold to
showed
the
that
yellow.
he finally showed the gameplay that took you past 7. There's yellow. Oh my goodness.
But Pack had a yellow as well. Now decisions for gold.
Oh, another save.
Another save there, this time by Gold to draw Pack back. We're even at 3.
Goodness.
Pack can play. Gold iced out though.
S tier ammo control from both. Goodness gracious.
And now Pack is iced out as well. Gold finds a top deck. Can't light switch off it though. We go into Draw City once again.
Yeah, the ammo control from both has been pretty special so far. Having the saves in the right spot like that are key examples of great ammo control from both players here. Pack with that +4 save earlier, Gold with that +2 save there. Just absolutely great gameplay there.
Yeah, Pack now able to draw it back even with that +2. Gold was able to get the card advantage in terms of play. And now they're both iced out again. So now it pretty much comes down to whoever plays the next card is going to have the advantage. As it will be Gold, who finds himself a top deck 1, a ditto play there. And so we'll continue to be iced out more than likely here.
Indeed. Yeah, the number connections haven't been coming up for these guys, but it could also be a case of they're trying to play conservative with making the switches, because you never know when a bad switch can burn you.
Well, we've seen that many times here. Even here in Jackpot June, here we go. Finds a top deck, swaps it over to blues, and now we'll be able to run a little bit here. Question is how much blue did we accumulate during that Draw City?
Oh boy.
Oh, trips play
Triple there.
2 freshies in the direction of Verigold.
Just playing it cool with the Brad Deuce.
Pack up by 2 cards right now on this homestand. And now
Frosted
the light switch
green.
into green. So is that a tell that he's out of blue, or is he maybe trying to search around, see if he can find another color that Gold is iced out in? Well, it doesn't matter. Gold brings it back to blue. Let's see if Pack is indeed iced out of said color here after he initiated the swap. Well, he finds a way out.
Half off special there. And Pack still with the possession arrow as he did as the 3.
A lot of numbers being played here. We've been in Draw City a couple of times here. There's the ammo. I was going to say, did any ammo get drawn there? +4 into the green. And if you're playing a +4 this early, if you're Gold, is this maybe an indicator that you've got to finish here with 3 cards, so Pack has to play something defensively?
Potentially, we'll see. Goes yellow.
Wondering,
It's your switch.
Is there a second +4? Did Gold have 2 of them maybe here, and that's why he felt willing to play 1? There it is. Yep. Had the second one. He got
Reads
the
are
color.
open again.
He got the color he needed there as well into the yellow to play the skip. And he finishes it out with the +4.
Yeah, I got a sense that might have been a little bit of Draw City helping Gold there.
Oh yeah. Certainly would have to think so. Well, Pack, I mean, a great job on both sides when each one of you got down there towards that finish of having the defensive card necessary to draw back. We ended up seeing you go into multiple Draw Cities, but yeah, I mean, nothing you could do there when there's 2 +4s in the closing stages. Obviously you tried there with the light switch over into the yellow. It plays into his hands, but I mean, what do you do? What do you do in that situation there? It says he was looking for him.
Yeah.
Now we know why you couldn't find him.
Yeah, it is early. Gold, obviously, those +4s how long were you saving them? Where like did you have them from this? I'm guessing you didn't have them from the start because you were down to Uno multiple times there, but probably Draw City helping you out there. But also thoughts on kind of game one. We talk about it being a feeler game, kind of a lot, trying to get a feel for their style. But it seems like you both are kind of similar. Got that ammo control, having those saves timed the right way. Both of you had a good save when the other was down at Uno. Thoughts on that after a game?
Yeah, it looked like both were pretty close on ammo distribution, at least at the beginning. A couple of skips, a couple of reverses. A lot of what we saw was based off of the draw
Oh, the first
cities.
+4 way up there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was all in that yellow Draw City. Yeah, it was later. Yeah, figured as much, but
And it took us a while to find quite a number of those +4s here at the close.
But yeah, Gold. Just thoughts on kind of getting a similar set of ammo control to you, because you definitely did good to save those to the end, and Pack had those saves earlier on with the other +4 as well. So thoughts on that similarity in your gameplay coming both against you having a save against the other at Uno earlier on.
Yeah, and you see right there, Pack saying that the draw cities didn't give him anything but numbers, and there's been a lot of
Tragic.
players that have fallen into something like that. We ended up seeing KT fall into that kind of a slump back in this second round. Same for Sanford. He ended up getting a lot of numbers in his draw cities. So yeah, we talk about luck. And even in terms of what you draw, sometimes you're on the lucky side. Sometimes you have to really work for it in the number efficiency.
Yeah. And I had that similar ending in D2 against Red. It was kind of I got swept out, and I didn't have much more than a couple of power cards along the way, but even with numbers, I didn't really have anything to connect. Like if you have numbers that can connect, you can win. You just have to play the right way and try and hope that your opponent doesn't have some god hand, but it's all about the connections. If you don't have any number connections, you're in nothing more to connect it with, then you're in a pretty tough situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Gold
Gold
says,
saying, I think it worked well. Managed to bait out the +4 used earlier, and it could have saved my run to finish for a turn. Yeah.
a good
Solid
win there
win from
for
Gold.
Gold on the road.
Yeah.
After a lengthy stay in Draw City. And now he'll look to see if maybe he can sweep the first two games on the road. Another homestand here for Pack Johnson as he'll look to draw this series back up even 1-1. And there you see the indicator. 12 going to go one down from the original start. Now let's see if it's staying up there in that higher tier is going to work out for Pack as he tries to tie this series up.
Starting with the sand for 6 with the dozen here.
And immediately the draw right out of the gate. Now we've seen before where players they don't actually have anything in a starting color. We've also seen that they'll kind of fade off of that color, not allow the other side to be able to get a read on them what they may have. So not sure which side of the spectrum we're on here for that play.
Certainly find out here as Pack drawing early now the Tapir 4 from Gold. Still nothing.
Wow.
Quite interesting to see this early on.
So this might be an indicator that he doesn't have numbers in red. Maybe he's got like some of those like reverses or skips or maybe a +2 in red and he just wants to hold on to it. He doesn't want to use that here because what would be the point?
Yeah, exactly.
But what this does do, it does give Gold an advantage in terms of the possession of cards, which is usually an important thing if you're on the road, because obviously the advantage, that one card advantage, goes to the home team. So at least for the moment, Gold doing exactly what he needs to do on this road stand here. Gold taking a little bit of time here, might be considering some choices as we're currently on the to pier 4. And decides to play the +2 here. Pretty early on in the game to play a +2. A lot of people are kind of wary of doing that, not wanting to give a lot of ammo in the early going, the middle portions of these games in case it comes back to bite them late, but goes with the risk here, does Gold.
Gold draws after the double earlier.
So maybe he had his hand forced there.
Possibly.
And he finds a way out of red into green. And Pack Johnson says not so fast, as he'll swap it over into blue.
Undercut to the blue and now a double up to the 6.
So we'll probably run in blue here for quite a bit, I would assume, as Pack was potentially iced out in red. And same for Gold is now Pack with the blue 2. And Gold with the swap over into yellow with bow tie. Both players continuing to run in yellow here. We'll check on the table here is Gold with a 6 to 11 card advantage. Pack will bring it down to 10 now.
Running through these colors, we'll see what color is the key to make it. Oh, back to blue.
Ooh.
So Gold taking it back to blue after switching to yellow. Now Pack's going to go back to.
Oh
Oh,
my
my goodness.
Wow. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's like Pong.
Oh my goodness. So that's still though Gold taking it back to blue after switching to yellow. I wonder how much yellow if they're out of yellow. That could have been a good move from Pack if Gold hadn't had another 7 in the back. But +4.
Hey, it flushed it though. It flushed the +4 at least
flush.
there.
And Gold doesn't have anything.
Wow. Even with the fresh 4 cards there on the +4, still iced out in yellow. That's killer
Mack now
there.
with the possession arrow. Maybe more, depending on... Oh, no, Gold keeps pace.
Got himself a top deck there, but it's going to be iced out again. How long can Pack run in yellow is the question. Apparently not very long. He will initiate the light switch over into green.
Oh. I don't even know what they have anymore.
Right?
Yeah, well, you would think that Gold needs to get back to blue unless... those 7s were all that Gold had on blue, which I find unlikely, but we'll find out.
Pack with a self-ditto there, bookending the green 4.
Still has green.
Now it gets interesting. 2 cards for Pack, 4 for Gold. Pack with the power play this early on.
Hello.
To make sure that this series at least ties up.
Oh, yep, I can I can understand that. I can understand that.
Well, but man, that's awfully early on to be using that power play. You're relying on a lot of things to go your way here for another 4 victories. But Pack will draw the series up here 1-1, and Pack, I mean, obviously you're able to now tie the series up, especially with the fact you've got 2 away games coming up here in the next 2. Was that kind of the mindset here, making absolutely certain that it wasn't going to be a 2-0 deficit going into two road games here? Making sure that at least you end up having one win on one of your first two homestands. And what's the mindset now, knowing that the road forward, you're not going to have that power play to call back on?
Oh yeah, wow. That's his starting hand. That is absurd.
Wow.
There are connections though, Seth. We talked about the connections. Like you got a pair of threes. You got the zeros, which you finished on. Have the sixes, the sevens. So
Poker hands.
yeah, and obviously he drew the +4 later as well. So that was his hand at the top. So yeah, I can't blame him for doing that, trying to pull a little momentum in his favor. Gold it definitely seemed like it was more like the light switching kind of game for you. Definitely we're trying to control that. It's just Pack kind of had those connections to counter you. I don't know if there's much you could have done differently. Maybe tone down the aggression on the light switching a little bit, but yeah, thoughts on that, and also having that power play advantage, not necessarily an advantage to win, but having the power play on your side after he's already used it.
And another reason why I kind of understand the power play there is, as mentioned, the last thing you want to do is be going into 2 games on the road, down 2 games already on your first 2 homestands. I mean, consider the fact with where they both were at. If he doesn't play the power play there, Gold may have a finish. So, in a sense, it's an offensive and potentially defensive power play all at the same time.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, splitting it is a lot better than going down 2-0. Obviously, going down 2-0 is as bad in a best of 9, as I mentioned. Like, you can definitely... And especially the fact that you have more 2-game homestands. Like, you're going to have it... Like, for Pack, you're going to have another 2-game homestand after this one. But obviously, going back to that homestand down 4-0 or 3-1 is not ideal. But you could still be down 3-1 after this next one. So, who knows what could happen. But... so I don't mind the power play from him. I think with that hand, especially trying to get a little bit of gain a little bit of momentum your way, I think that definitely helps you. Gold saying will enjoy having the power play advantage. Always great to secure a win or even stop Mack in his tracks. Also, yeah, the light switches did work, but I'm not going to let up on them yet, especially not that he's without a power play for a quick switch. Yeah, definitely.
And Pack said try to use the numbers the best way that he can is all he can do from here on out. Bot isn't being very kind, but we shall see how the rest of this series goes. And, sometimes it just takes that one game, that one win, too, to kind of shift the momentum, shift the luck. So we'll see if the utilization in the early going of the power play will be enough to tip the scales into Pack's favor in terms of the ammunition, especially off the initial draw. So 1-1. Here to kick off this best of 9 series. We'll now head into Gold's first homestand. And Gold, I believe that the only number you cannot utilize is 13 right now. The rest of it is open.
Correct.
What are we looking at here for game 3?
Gonna go 14. Gonna keep it high. We might just see a lot of high tier. Might venture down to like 10 or 11 by the CSR in effect, but I think they're gonna want to kind of stay in that kind of zone.
We'll start off in green with the plant 5. An immediate light switch there from Gold into the JT blue.
There's the lane 7. We'll see him later. Today, 8 o'clock against G. Over in the Diamonds region.
2 versus 3 seed matchup. This is 1v4. That one's going to be even closer maybe between those two in that
between
diamond
those
face-off.
two, between those two, it'll be 15 wins combined. G 7-2, the automotive April winner.
Yep.
Lane 8-3, looking for a signature. This is probably Lane's best opportunity as well, in terms of getting a good resume win, because he's probably had one of the weakest schedules in the league, to be honest. But no disrespect to him at all as a player. He's a good player, but this is his opportunity against G. So we'll see what happens there tonight. That's where we're running in the green now. Ditto cap 4.
Much like we saw in the first 2 games, expecting to see a lot of numbers, maybe a double play here or there, a la Julio Cesar, who joined the 100 wins club earlier this week, as the utilization of the wild here by Pack to bring it over to red. And another ditto.
Caesar, the fifth player to join that 100 club, and you'll also probably have Vapor joining that as well in his game on Monday morning against Lamas at 99 wins, entering that one. You also have Brad, if he can win the series against Daria, will join that club as well tonight.
Big triple play there by Gold to bring it over to green. I was going to say, I'd be a little worried with what's on the other side if I'm Gold, because he was more than willing to use the red wild.
Ooh.
And
Gonna
it
go to
didn't
red.
have any ammo in red, and then brought it back over to blue. So yeah, he's now with a ditto there on the red too. After using the +4, I think Pack may have gotten the hand he was looking for this time. We'll see if Gold uses anything to draw him back maybe. Yeah, he's going to answer back. Smart play there. Gives him 4 freshies.
Yeah, he's again pushing hard on the light switches, Gold is. And there's a double in response from Pack. Wipes out half that +4. There's a Coach Rogers 4 in the flesh. Doubles it back up.
Gold at 4, Pack at 5. Pack may have had a finish there after Gold, or before Gold hit him with the +4. Gold at 4 cards. Does he have any more ammo to be able to utilize? Nope, just continues to run in the yellow with the 6. Pack now trying to get down to 4 cards here. And he'll trip play. Stacks the +2, so 6 cards head in the direction of Gold as he'll bring it to blue, down to 2 cards.
Ooh.
What did Gold get on the return?
Oh, man. Ooh, another one.
Another shot with the +4. Brings it back to yellow once again. And just like that,
one +4 left.
Yeah, right? And I doubt that either one have it.
At least to this point. Oh my goodness. There's another one. Cancels it out of
10 cards drawn in 2 plays. Woo.
Have fun with that. Damn.
Now into the green. 10 cards for Pack Johnson as he'll double with the skip into the 8. And ooh, wow. Now ices Gold out. It's still iced out in the green. Now Pack trying to draw it back even. If he plays and Gold draws, we're knotted at 7.
Oh boy.
Pack down to 7. Can Gold get to 6 here with a top deck? Maybe a light switch, or will he be knotted up? Yep, 7 apiece here now.
And this game has just been a lot of not so fast back and forth.
Yes, it has.
Shout out to Legend Lee Corso.
Gold finds himself a top deck there with the 1. Can't light switch off of it, and both are now iced out in green. So another draw city, kind of shades of what we saw back in the first game. And at least back in that first game, we ended up seeing Gold draw what was it, 2 or 3 of his +4s? Now 3 of them have been used in this game, so there's not much ammo we're able to draw for here now at this point in time.
No doubt. That's what happens when you go all the +4s and +2s in quick fashion. I mean, the red's the least played color at this point, so there's definitely a lot of potential out of it at this point.
Gold found an escape into red, swapping off with the 7. Pack will run
Pack
as
still
well.
with the possession arrow.
Well.
And gold takes that and then some. Another +2. Goodness.
+2 into the ditto double red skip. Ends with the background red 8. Now half of what Pack has, 5 to 10. Pack plays it cool with the Sanford 6.
There are just 2 +2s left in the deck.
Oh, gracious.
And they're not in blue. Actually, no, 3 +4s. There's another. I missed that one. It's funny when you read over the history, you see +2 and 2, and you think it says 2 +2s. I'm like, no, +2 then 2.
Well, there's one of them.
Yeah, see, there's a +.
There it is, right on cue.
+2. No more +2s in blue.
Are we sure?
Nice read, Short. Nice read on that one, mate.
Appreciate that, Fitz. Appreciate that, man.
Pack with the swap over into yellow, knotted at 5 cards each.
That was great. All right. We're going to yellow, and let me just yeah. There's both the +2s are gone in yellow.
Okay. Oh wow! So the last card in yellow there for gold, the reverse uses the wild.
Oh my
goodness!
What?
Are we surprised? Are we surprised? It's been
No.
nothing but answer
Oh,
back
should we
here.
be surprised? I'd say not.
No, we should not be. Absolutely true, Fitzy. We
no
should not be
way.
surprised. It has been
No.
absolute call and response here in these first 3 games.
Running that not so fast.
Oh!
What in the?
Wow!
Not so fast, my friend.
Wow!
There you go. Thank you, John. Thank you. And just like
put
that,
this on my
inside
note
of
the
30
6th time.
seconds, all the wilds are gone.
Crazy play here. We're only in game 3 here. Looking for a momentum shift, knotted up 1-1. Pack at 3. Gold with the next play at 2. Can he at least get to check? Does he maybe have a finish to go up 2-1? Or do we maybe for the umpteenth time go into a draw city? Nope, he finds check.
Ooh.
What can Pack
Here's
do with
Pack.
3 cards? Does he have a finish here maybe? With gold on the brink at Uno. Is the 4th +4 somewhere? There it is.
Oh!
But he doesn't have the finish. He doesn't have the finish, though. He gets to check. Almost shades of
Another
exactly
not
what he
so
did
fast.
back in
Reeds
game
is
1.
open, Seth. School of Reeds is open.
Gracious.
For the game?
For the game. Let's see. He's got
Oh my
the yellow
God.
to close it out.
Jesus Christ.
Gracious
This is
sakes
absurd.
alive.
Oh.
So,
What?
hold on.
Unbelievable, man.
So,
Unbelievable.
hang on. I gotta check and see here. So, did we have a game where all the +2s and all the +4s were used? I think we did. What in the world?
I think that was the last +4 there, and all the +2s were used, so yeah, that's right. And all the
Wow.
wilds.
All
the
the ammo.
wilds.
All of the ammo. Gracious.
Every ammo. God.
Insane battle for sure, Pack. I mean, back and forth you two have been. And it's interesting because we see both of you obviously aggressive with the light switches. We've seen you both comfortable here in the early going with the high tier card starts. And we also mentioned about the seeding coming into this one. We knew it was going to be close, but we didn't know that we were going to see it as close as it is. I talk about all the time that sometimes we'll have the situations where players are almost playing a clone of themselves, and that's almost what we're kind of seeing here with the call and response that we see out of both of you. Does that make it easier or more difficult when you're in matchups like this, kind of in a sense playing against someone that has the same tendencies that you do?
Yes, school is in session. Gold, what was the... I want to go back to those 3 wilds there just a moment ago. Obviously we're trying to get to the blue. He wanted the yellow. I'm guessing say on the yellow and just didn't want to be stalled out there for you to go undercut back on the wild.
Yes, it was
because
Pack.
That is, yeah. I figured as much because rarely do we see just some crazy undercut play on the wilds. I think it was just kind of throwing caution to the wind a little bit, but yeah. Thoughts on that one? Just an absolute back and forth. I mean, you said he got the hand he was looking for, Gold, but you definitely had plenty of answers. It was plenty of. We were just mentioning it, shouting out the Corso, not so fast, back and forth, over and over. Just thoughts on that crazy game we just had.
I kind of just looking at it here, Short. We saw Pack use the power play to draw this series back 1-1. Is there maybe a little bit more importance in him getting this victory here in Game 3 on the road in the fact that he doesn't have that power play? Is it kind of putting more emphasis every win he gets from here on in a little bit more important?
Yeah, every win going up further is definitely more important. Gold saying it was a slog, but I sure enjoyed it. I think it's an incredible demonstration of how to use ammo, and yeah, definitely just back and forth. And we love to see games like that, more evenly distributed. And I think that was probably the most even fight of the series so far, despite it being 1-1. I think that was definitely the closest one, and ultimately the yellow was just Gold's kryptonite in the end there.
And Pack saying it's almost like mirror playing, so he has to think about what he would do in these scenarios. Really a different type of matchup than what I'm used to, which in a way it's a blessing and a curse because obviously maybe a little bit outside of his comfort zone. But
wow.
Hey, Mack's been to the top. Pack Johnson's been to the top of the mountain. He took the whole thing in movie May. This could be just a little added caveat he can carry forward here. Being in a matchup like this and having to deal with these scenarios now could make him a much more dangerous player going forward.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's just getting battle tested, and at this point for Pack, also, we talked about getting the seeding, but it's also like getting battle tested to play against Super League level competition. Gold may not have been there last year, but definitely has the potential to be there. And I mean, who knows what Gold could do, either with a win or a loss, could definitely be in contention. It's just ultimately what's going to happen with the season, but it's a great test for Pack. I mean, he's already locked in, but it's ultimately just getting reps at this point and getting seeding.
Absolutely.
But yeah, playing KT, Peter, himself, and Ashley all in one series, that is a crazy combo.
Yeah, it's weird too because we talk about the level of competition here, just how close it really is. Any player on any given day can move on to the next round of a tournament. And he mentions KT and Ashley. I myself can speak from personal experience that my style of gameplay has completely changed after playing those two particular players in a series. And I think the same can be said for a lot of those that have graduated up from D2, some of those that were in the novice class as well. Playing against the seasoned veterans, you kind of adapt and maybe add some of what you see them do, add that to your repertoire and style of playing, and that's what I think just makes everything, it narrows down the experience level now here in D1.
Yeah, no doubt that, I mean, anyone can win. There are, like, very few, and, we've had some people drop, unfortunately, and some of them, some have been legends like Ashley established, and others are just, like ALP struggling to get much going this season. But yeah, I mean, the competition level, I mean, like, how many people have got to win almost the entire field of D1 players? And that's something we're always going to talk about. And it's completely different style and amazing challenge. Yeah, that's what I figure for Pack. I mean, it's kind of, got made that run, but definitely, the more battle tested you can be, the better. Especially when a championship's on the line.
Well, in the first homestand for Pack, it was one win on at home and then a road victory for Gold. Now Pack has a road victory against Gold here on Gold's homestand. Gold will look to draw this even back 2-2. Gold, only thing that's still not open for you is 13. What are we looking at here for game number 4? Wow, we're going all the way down to 6. So we're taking ammo completely out of the equation and maybe looking at number efficiency.
Well, depending on the hand.
True. That's fair, yeah. So we'll start in red. Let's see if there's any plan A here with a 6-card start. It's happened before. It happened back in the round of 64 a couple of times with two hands of 5 and 2 hands of 6 that I recall. And both
It
iced
can
out
fly
in the
by
green.
you fast or take forever in low tier. And here we go. Draw City already.
You mentioned
30
ALP.
seconds in.
Here we go. Yep, pass light switch again.
Yep. Now we're searching for the ammunition here because apparently we didn't have it. Gold finds a top deck, 1 up.
The sentiment I always go with Seth in a low tier start. It's always either goes really quick or really slow because it's either someone either has a really good hand, both sides are down a color, which slowed things down. But here we go into yellow and the momentum going again.
Into the double play, into the ditto, if you will, there for gold. Pack with the 0 sugar in yellow, hard to switch off of. Gold will bring it up to the 3. Pack will find yellow in 1. And gold with the light switch over into blues. So red right now will be the Pandora's box color. Both getting down there towards that end zone. Did we draw back and find a card? There's the red.
Ooh.
Gold down to 2. Pack looking to get down to 3. Does gold have a finish? Can he get to check? He light switches to blue, down to check. Does Pack have an answer? He'll ice to the green wild, and that's going to force gold to draw back another call and response in the closing stages. Now Pack's
he's got check. Oh, he's got check.
Gold with the swap to yellow.
What?
Does the number efficiency work? Pack's iced.
Sean,
Gold's iced.
hit me with that again. Hit me with that again. Come on.
Oh,
Not so fast, my friend.
Thank you,
gracious.
sir. God.
We keep getting surprised, and I don't know why we are. It's been the theme of the series. Now both at check in the yellow. Is the number efficiency there for either one? Not for Pack, not for gold.
God, this is absurd, man.
Draw back again.
Again, and seeing it even.
And now we might be running back here for a bit, as we're starting to exhaust the yellow. How far back do we go is going to be the question here. As all of that after that first draw city, all of that was number efficiency to try and get down there to the end.
Jesus Christ.
So a lot of ammo still out there in the deck. Both were down at check. We're now back to 8. We started this with 6.
What is going on, man?
Pack finds a top deck. Gold still iced. Can Pack find a light switch off the 2? No.
No, man.
Gold does, though, with a top deck. Brings it into green, so now we're opened up a little bit here. Now we go back to maybe the number efficiency again, but the big question is we were in that draw city for, what, 7 plays, 8 plays? So what ammunition could we have accumulated along the way?
That.
Exactly that. Trips play with the reverses into the blue.
What's going on here?
Gold with the light switch into red. Pack with the background 8. Pack with the advantage right now. 5 cards to 7.
I'll chime in quick. I won't be surprised to see a +2s here. I won't be surprised.
You don't think maybe we ended up top decking a +4 and holding on to it?
I mean, we can see that happen. I mean, anything's possible.
See anything happen. Anything's possible, exactly. Cross
Pack.
yellow.
Oh, into the yellow. Whoa, hold on. We were iced in yellow earlier. Was he holding that?
What is going on here?
Looking for check.
Oh,
Oh,
what?
he finds the number
You're
efficiency
kidding
into
me.
red.
That is a great read from Pack. That is a great read.
And there's the +2.
But save again.
As
There you
Fitzy
go.
said, there's the +2. Draws him back. The Charles Sanford 6. Pack will
There's the
continue to
last
run in
one.
red here. Gold iced out in red, though. Can Pack get to check? Yes, he
does,
can.
But what's his last card, though?
Iced
that a
out is
red?
gold. Can he finish it out in red? No,
No.
he cannot
Oh,
and does not
man.
have the number efficiency.
I'm gonna say that's just what if that was another red. What would you have been able to do if you great save?
Gold finds
Goodness,
the red
here's a
5
5.
with the DJ.
Pack back to 4. We'll see if he can set something up with this. Nope.
Can Gold find a light switch off his 5? Nope.
Yeah. Gold's probably gonna go a few more back before if he has a break to make. I don't think it's gonna come for a few turns here.
But how about that read back there from Pack, holding on to that yellow 4 the whole time there, realizing he was probably going to need it for the light switch over into red. And both of them we thought were iced out in yellow.
That was a great play. Knowing that Gold was probably still iced in the yellow and being able to set up that number efficiency. And those are the kind of plays you have to make without the power play. He used it early. That could have, I mean, it wouldn't have been for the win, obviously, but that's a power play kind of move to be able to set up your own trips like that. So those are the kind of plays that will gain you success when you are working without one.
Gold caps and draws, leaving it open on the red skip. Neither able to play off of it here. Pack will, though, just cap it off there with the Sanford 6.
I don't know why Gold played a red skip and draw. I got questions about that.
They're just maybe trying to swap it out for a different card. Ultimately doesn't work much against them.
Plus also maybe kind of searching for the connector skip on the draw city.
Yes. Very possible.
Double play there from Pack. Continuing to hold the possession arrow, now down to 4. Gold all the way back to an even dozen.
Oh, cancels that out and then some from Gold. And it's just response after response. We haven't seen too many unless it's then those +4s to the end of those couple of games. It's been a lot of back and forth, very even on the ammo control. It's been very good.
One up from Pack. And double special there from Gold. Surprisingly, too, kind of looking at this, we've been somewhat sparing on the ammunition. We've only seen 2 +2s, and we've still got 3 of the regular wilds. All of the wild +4s are still out there. Look at their little trip skip into the yellow wild, and Pack, barely got the Uno call in there. He's at check.
I feel a not so fast incoming.
I feel like there's a +4 on the way. What about you? There are all 4 of them still out there.
You sense it coming.
Both the
Does
yellow
Gold have one
+2s
more
are out there
save?
too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, both +2s are out for yellow, so it's very possible. Gold typing for a minute. This could be
he
something.
is. Oh my gosh! How about a triple stack with the +2?
Right to double digits.
Yeah. Never mind 6. How about 12?
And another reset.
So there's where all those +2s were. Moves it over into blue. Does Gold. And now Pack with 12 cards has to figure out another path back. Gold now down to 5 cards remaining. And he'll light switch it immediately over into yellow. Interesting, because he's the one that made the initial swap over into cap off blue with that triple +2. Immediately light switches off of it after the ditto play from Pack. Pack 1 up with the 8. Gold at 4. And he hits the finish!
Oh
There's
my
the plus
goodness.
4 into the double
What?
reverse. Ends with the ditto on the yellow 8, if you will. And Gold
2-2.
draws it back to 2. 2 victories.
Man.
Or no, 1 victory at home, 1 victory on the road for each of them here now.
Very even. Yeah, this +2 stats.
Crazy.
That is absurd. Oh, yeah, and the fact that it's 2-2, I think, also is a good showing of Pack being able to stay in it. Like, +2 advantage like that, it can do work wonders for you.
Yeah, wilds, reverses, skips. Wild plus 4s even. We're pretty even on all those, but
Everything's
11
even
to
except
4
that.
advantage on the plus 2s for Gold.
Man.
Well, Pack, again, it's kind of hard to come up with a different question because we've seen a lot of the same here in these first 4 games, just back and forth, back and forth. You know, obviously we ended up seeing ammunition get utilized there on the draw cities. Were you able to find something that you maybe were going to have a couple of times there for a finish? And as we've usually seen, Gold just seemed to have the answers to draw you back.
Gold, I'm in. Oh yeah, well, yeah, I'd like to know that as well. What that last one was, because yeah, Gold. I don't
Had to be
really know
something
what
in
more to
yellow.
ask because that was kind of the same kind of thought I would have from the last game. Just a lot of back and forth answers and just being able to pull it through. Yeah, I just couldn't put it together. Figured as much. Yeah, yeah, Seth. I don't really have much. I don't. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh man, that's wild.
Yellow 4.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Seth. It's really hard to really come up with Gold as well. Like you said, to Pack. I mean, it's like this is kind of a mirror image of Game 3, except a little bit longer and less cards. It kind of produced similar outcomes.
So Pack had the yellow 4 there. I figured he had something in yellow with the wild there when he got to check. But
Yeah.
2-2. Pack gets the homestand here in Game 5. We continue to go back and forth. And Christian Toggle going to get it typed in here as the call is going to be 13 here. And, well, I guess the good news for Pack is there's a +2 that Gold won't be able to play against him here in this 5th game, as that's going to be our starting card here. But Pack will have the next 2 homestands here, as both individuals looking to get their 3rd win of this series. Again, you need 5 to be able to take this best of 9, so we're not even quite to halfway point for either one of these 2 individuals yet.
And again, we mentioned the fact that Gold's more experienced in the round, but I mean, they both made deep runs, so it's they both know how to play these best of 9s at this point. There's still some there's plenty of experience in this one though. In this entire round, really. I mean, we have Caesar, who has the most appearances out of it. Still have one first timer in background. Even Brian's been here once before. This will be his 2nd, and obviously Pack with this is his 3rd today, and Gold being his 6th.
Double play there from Pack Johnson. And one of the rare occasions where we saw somebody actually play off the initial +2. A lot of times we'll see people just cap that off and play it cool, but he actually built off of it there and being aggressive as he hits that double play with the skip into the 5. So kind of seems like now here on this homestand, Pack taking not only advantage of having that 1 card advantage at home, but he's trying to right out of the gate here in the rubber match of this best of 5 to basically establish the momentum here going forward.
Yeah, Pack, I think with that play was just trying to, try and gain some kind of advantage, because when it's been dead even, they've just been having answers for each other, and it can get kind of murky and risky, and I think Pack was just trying to make a little bit of buffer. Now, how much will that help him or hurt him? That's yet to be seen, but I can't blame him for trying to pull a move like that.
And do you think that the buffer that you need increases a little bit more now that he doesn't have the power play to be able to like link something together or to stop a run if Gold has one?
It's possible, but I mean, Gold could easily, with those freshies runs like that, nothing thrown his way, but you never know. Like, go from quickly from a 7-card advantage to dead even. It ultimately depends on what you gave early on.
Trips play there by Gold. Pack will go one down. And Gold iced out in the green here already. Pack will bail him out though. Goes over to red. Pack at 6. Gold currently at 13. So a little over twice as much as Pack has. Let's see what Gold goes double up into the sand for red. And immediately the light switch into M there by Pack.
So immediate to blue, not a long stay in red, just one cycle.
Both have been even as far as the aggressiveness on the light switches. 33 for Gold, 32 for Pack. So both, like I said, mirroring each other.
Yep. And that stacked +2 has been the only difference between the two, although Gold has made the play to try and pull closer, but Pack has had those moves as well. That double as well after the +2 stack has made this advantage exist.
Gold taking a little bit of time here with Pack now down to 5 cards remaining. And is this a case even somewhat early on in this game of maybe looking at some card history to plan out your strategy accordingly?
Very possible, but still kind of early on that because there's still a lot of cards. You get under halfway through the deck, you start thinking about history. There's still a lot of cards floating around. I mean, you look at it now, and it's really hard to make a whole lot of connections or conclusions from it. I mean, like, it's usually you get halfway or less through the deck, you start to think about it because maybe a lot of ammo has been played, a lot of numbers. You start to think about, well, start playing percentages. You know that there's a lesser chance that there's this number if a lot of them have been played in a lot of colors, but still kind of early in the deck to think about history too much at this point.
Gold made the light switch into yellow. Pack got down to 2, but now iced out in yellow, starts drawing back. Finds a top decker there with the 5, but Gold able to establish this yellow, starting to reel Pack back in, down to 6 cards. Oh, and a trips play. Gets down to 3, stacks the +2s, and that'll send Pack back to 9.
Huge right there.
Gets the swap over into blue at the same time. Pack with the 7 in green, and then a ditto play on himself by Gold to bring it back to blue once again. The answer for the answer continues.
God.
Pack
Not
forced
so
to run
fast.
in blue now.
Oh, damn.
Can
Just keeps
Gold
going
get to
on.
Not
check?
so fast, my friend.
Gold
Thank you, sir.
cannot. He's iced out. Got down to 2, and now he draws back in blue. Oh, might
Back
get
to
bailed
green
out.
again.
Might get bailed out.
What?
No, iced in green as
Oh.
well.
Out of options there.
Oh,
Oh my!
wow.
He does it again. Are you kidding me?
And there's the bailout
He's
that
done
Gold
it
needed.
again. That's the second time he's had a play like that, where he set up an own undercut. That is an absolute. The reads are crazy there from Pack. Again.
Gold with the 0 sugar. Pack down to 4. Gold at 2. It's not outside the possibility. I was going to say that he had a finish, and Pack Johnson with the quad play, reverse to the +2, caps it off with the +4 to play the final 9 in yellow, and Pack Johnson is going to pick up his 3rd victory of the series. his second win at home. And now...
Oh, the double +2 gave him.
Oh, wow.
And that's just sometimes how it happens.
Yep.
It's a risk you accept when you send it, and Gold hadn't really been burned by that until then.
Well, Pack, I mean, going back to what Short pointed out, this is the second time we've seen you hold a card in a color that it looks like both of you are iced out in to be able to find a path, the undercut, in, I believe it's been twice a trips play in that particular number to be able to swap through the aggressive light switches there. Those kind of reads, you know, obviously as we've documented, this is your third appearance inside of the round of 16. Those kind of reads that we're seeing here are a big reason why we saw you end up taking this entire thing back in Movie May. The callback on those, you know, there's obviously a little bit of risk involved as well. You might not be able to find the connectors you need at the close, but those plays right there, was that, in your mind, maybe a big difference maker in the outcome of this? I know obviously you said the stack +2s were as well, but you obviously needed the establishment of the colors, find that weak point there for Gold to be able to eventually have that finish.
Gold, again, it's just a back and forth thriller. I think y'all are just putting on a crazy show. It's just hard for me to come up with a question because it just seems like it's the same thing again and again. Just, I guess the only thing is that definitely played a little aggressive on the ammo. Was that kind of a byproduct of the fact that Pack kind of sent you back off that +2 start early on, just kind of had that big advantage, just trying to push down on the aggressiveness, and just especially that +6 coming down burn you, even a low card. Oh yeah, that's what I figured as much.
Peck says multiple times last month it was the stuff he learned playing and watching KT. Got to be aggressive even if I have to fish for an ending. And yeah, obviously in that case, he didn't have to do a whole lot of fishing because he ended up getting the ending cards there on the stacked +2s. But we said coming into this one, we said this was going to be a good one. A 1 versus 4 seed here in the Spades region. It's our only streamed game of the day, and it has lived up to the hype for sure, with still quite a bit left to go here potentially. I don't know why, Short, but I keep feeling like that game 9. We're gonna get there. We're gonna be knotted up.
You feel like
apiece.
it, yeah. Yeah, I think unless the bot's nice to Pack, but just keeps being nice to maybe not. But it just seems like this series has been too good to fall out like that. It's just been back and forth like that. We'll see how it goes for Game 6.
So it looks like we are going to be going to 11 here with the pre-typed. Tago knew we were going to 11.
Boom. He's in class 2, man. Jeez.
Teacher asked the question. Everyone's got their hand raised. Start with the M6, 1 down into the JT5, and immediately the light switches here from Gold. Again, our only stream game here today. Everything else taking place non-stream later on tonight, starting at 7. All 4 regions in play is in the clubs region at 7. It's Brad taking on Arya, 2 versus 11 seed. Diamond region at 8 o'clock. Prime time with G-Man taking on Lane Sanders. That's a 2 versus 3 seed matchup. And then the Hearts region closes out the night at 9:30 with Toaster Guy, 3 seed, taking on 10 seed Lara. As another light switch there from Pack Johnson. This is reminding me an awful lot. We had a lot of games back in the round of 64 where there was a lot of light switching going on. And I'll just say now what I said then. I'm glad I'm not the one paying the electric bill. Leave that light switch alone.
Yeah, that bill's gonna be high. Never.
Never. You're not my dad. Light switch again. Gold says, watch this. Flick into the red.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wonder how hard the AC's
what have I done? I've told them to
this
stop
could
light
screw up that
switching.
bill.
And they're just saying, nope, watch this. Another flick, another flick.
Yeah, it's
Not
even
so
worse
fast,
Seth,
my
because
friend.
it's really hot. that AC's running hard.
It is.
Triple play.
Into the red for Gold. Down to 3.
Yeah, and Golden Pack know this well because we're getting let been in heat wave this weekend here in Illinois. Man, that's AC's been running hard. Been in the 90s all damn week, man.
Trips play
Keen
with the +2
advisories,
in the
high
middle there for
indexes,
Pack.
triple digits. Goodness me. I know. It's actually like not bad today, but it's been bad all week.
Yeah, we got hit with a hot streak here in New York last week. This week's not been so bad, but then we've had the nice
Yeah.
weather as far as temperature, and we get rain on top of it. So much for
Exactly.
doing anything outdoors. Is what
No.
did we have here? Okay, green 5 played there by
100 on Tuesday. Damn.
wow. And let me guess, 100 and probably humid as well. It probably isn't like that dry heat 100.
Like 120. Feels like
Gosh.
real field temperature. Yeah.
Gold able to run in green. Pack iced out. Gold trying to get towards that finish line. He'll get it. Didn't even need check. The double play to close it out. Are we shocked? We're knotted up at 3.
Man. How about that?
No green till his last draw there
I
for
think
Pack.
that's our quickest game.
Yes it is.
Quickest game. Everything was over 5 until then. That is just crazy.
Was that?
Caught
I
me
gotta
by
double
surprise.
check. Was that a plan A for Gold? I don't think he drew back at all.
Looking. Looks like it.
Yeah, that was a plan A. Wow.
That is how you even series. And now it's a best of 3.
And see, this is what this is why they were saying, no, watch this. I'm gonna do the light switching because a lot of times it works out with the number efficiency, and obviously Gold was able to do just that. No drawbacks, complete plan A with an 11-card start.
Yeah, and Pack having no green is definitely a helpful thing for Gold there. Yeah, and just simple case of no green from one side, one color from one side. It can definitely work the other way.
I don't
It's
know
pretty
about
clean
you,
cut.
Short, but I feel like as we get down this home stretch, it's just more, let's just let these guys go at it. I mean, the questions have been asked in these first few games, and we're just kind of,
it's like it's been the same thing. There hasn't been anything new.
yeah, like a couple of pairs just repeating ourselves here with questions. So
Broken records.
I say we just let him go at it here. As
Yeah,
now it's going to be
why
Gold. He's
not?
going to
Game
have
7.
the next homestand here for Game 7. We're knotted 3 apiece. This victory could be important. Got an hour left, so yeah, we'll expedite this. Let's get this rolling.
3 games left. Next 3 games left. Let's run it.
14 going to be the call here for Gold. Here we go. This could be the momentum shifter here because whoever ends up taking this one, they're 1 away from the victory. We're thinking that this is more than likely going to go into a Game 9, but you never know.
Yeah, and Gold winning this could be huge for him as well because still got the power play in hand. And we talk about power play lock, that you still have to put yourself in a position to be successful with a power play. I truly believe. I think it's not a lock. It's not a guarantee if you have a power play and you're looking to try and lock up a series, but it's definitely a good advantage.
Thought here, obviously next 2 homestands here for Gold, getting that 4th victory. If he has a chain to the end but has that broken link, do we consider the power play here in Game 7?
It's very possible, I think. And again, I think it's a little easier to venture that kind of guess because Pack's already used his. So I think it's definitely, keep the options open if you're Gold, but I think you'd want to maybe save that for to clutch it up at the end, but we'll see what happens.
Gracious, the light switching has been off the charts. Another one here from Gold after the ditto in green. We're into red. Double play here from Pack. And we are quickly, as a 1 down there into the background red, we're quickly whittling this hand down. Started at 14, knotted at 8. But Gold iced out in the red.
Ooh.
That could be huge for Pack. In terms of gaining an advantage here, question is, how long can he run in red? Well, apparently not very long. He'll bail him out as he goes to green.
He sets up his number of fish again.
Again, yeah.
Not a trips play, but he set it up again. The Gold's got +2 on the back end, though.
And I don't know if you saw it there before the end of that, or at the end of that last game. Pack said he had trips 9s, so if that game had kept going, we would have seen it all over again.
Jeez.
Now running in green. And gold iced out in green. So that's red and green that he's out in. Obviously a 2-color hand. And Pack's going to play into it here as he'll light switch into the blue.
Ooh, double play there from gold.
I mean, obviously, if you're Pack, you're probably trying to get to blue
cards
yourself.
to even it. He just keeps having to run to even it up after getting iced a little bit. And again, it's even with Pack, still with the possession arrow.
5 cards left. We're in the vicinity now. I could see a finish. Let's see.
Really?
Can Pack maybe finish? Can he get to check? Do we see maybe a trips play to get down to 2? What's going to be here for Pack as he looks to take a pivotal 4th victory?
Viping a minute. Oh, he does!
What
he
the
does!
heck is that?
What? He does!
He just kind of almost evened up the +2s. That was a quad +2 in the 5-bagger to end it out.
That is ridiculous. Well, they both kind of had their. They both wait. Let me look. Yeah, so they both had a plan A win now.
Yeah, they did.
The series had everything.
Oh my goodness! And gold had a +4 he was holding on to for a long while there, so there would have been an answer back had he not finished it.
What can you do there?
No, there's nothing. 2s. There's nothing you can do.
Was that? Wait, was that +2? 2 +2s?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was a double blue into the red into the yellow. It was a quad +2.
No. He's saying he said gold. Thanks for 2 +2s, but that green +2 did that green +2 give you 2 +2?
What?
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Oh my gracious! Wow. That is ridiculous, but not surprising with what we've seen so far here today. Wow.
I don't even know, man. That is just crazy. That is just terrible luck for gold. That is terrible luck. Oh my god.
What are the odds? What are the odds?
What are the odds? Yeah,
we're defying them all today.
Insane.
Doesn't matter what the odds are. We're just putting them in a blender and drinking them up. We're defying them all.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Exactly. Jesus.
So a big win there for Pack. Obviously down the power play, so now he's got the 4-3 advantage. Gold's got the next homestand here, his final homestand of the series of the year. I don't know. It could be. It could very well be.
It's because he's had everything. You've had all the not so fast. You had these plan A type games and the momentum swinging back and forth. I just don't know who's going to come up with it.
Well, we got potentially 2 more games to go here. Maybe Pack able to close out the series here in Game 8. But he'll have to do so on the road, down a power play. Gold, you've got the call. No 6, no 11, no 13. He's going to go low tier again. We're going back down to 7. It was a 6-card start that Gold ended up getting the victory on.
Here we go.
Second game that will have a LaPlante 5 in green to kick things off. And are we shocked? Immediately the light switch into blue.
There's blue 7 and going what?
We've had back-to-back plan A's. I will be shocked if we have a plan A here, but we'll see.
What is this? Going back to green after switching off it.
And then we switch back into blue again.
What is going on here?
Pack ice.
What is happening?
Gold ice.
It's a double ISO. Oh my.
What is it with the series, man?
I don't know.
End this game. End this hand. Why?
God.
Pack finds it back to green after the top deck blue.
Gold's 2-color. Gold is 2-color.
Pack brings it to yellow. He bails him.
Oh
he trips it again with the 1s.
What is going on?
Double play from
Gold.
There's
a +2.
There's the +2.
27th +2 of the series between the 2.
Not at 5, now 4 for Pack with the playing of the yellow 3. Gold draws even with the yellow 8. Pack looking for the series. Gold looking to tie it up and send it to a game 9. Pack's iced out in yellow. The bow tie 2 here for Gold, down to 3. Pack looking for a little bit of top deck luck. Finds the light switch into blue. Gold with the ditto play. Both were iced out in blue earlier. Is there a trips 2 maybe here for Pack?
God.
Can he find the light switch again? Oh, look at this.
My God.
Ends it on the draw there with the +2. He'll leave it open, but he'll knot it back at 4. And then an answer back with the double play.
Oh my God, double. Oh my goodness. Gold down to 2.
Pack's
Hold
iced.
the phone. No.
And gold is iced as well.
Oh.
Top
Seth,
deck.
Seth, I think it's pretty clear what the key to the end of this is going to be.
Maybe a +4.
No. Look, what color? We still haven't opened Pandora's box
we haven't
yet.
gotten the red yet. You're right.
That red is going to be key, and I think they're both going to draw because you'd think if they're both iced on this, they probably both want red. So it's a matter now of who is going to be confident enough to make the break to that color, because that's the biggest unknown here, as we have a little bit of green sprinkled in here.
Yeah, we drew back some green. They were iced out earlier on green. Pack's already iced out again. Let's see if gold can run it any longer, or will he be iced out as well? He will be able to continue.
I already won red. Or they're looking for +4s.
Yeah.
See if Pack can find a light switch off the 7. No, but he'll play the +2 and leave it open
13.
again, much like what gold did.
Just
Knotted
make note of the fact 13 +2s for Pack.
Gracious.
And to gold 16 +2.
Gold with the cap off in the 4. Has more green to be able to work with into the 6. And Pack finds a way out into yellow.
What is going
there
on,
it is.
Man?
Here we go. Red's
Here's
been
red.
played.
Trip 6. That is deadly. Here we
The
go.
lock's
Red
been broken.
Pandora's box is open.
box
Just
is
under 4
opened
minutes.
up.
Just below 4-minute mark, and now Gold's got the advantage with that red by 3. And now Pack really has to think about this. What does he have in tow to try and counter? Triple play.
Play with the double reverse. Ends on the background. Within
Still
1.
going.
Now,
Oh my goodness.
after the red 3 played by gold. Oh, is this a finish? No, he's down
Back
to
to
check.
yellow.
Down to
Back
check
to yellow.
with the yellow. For
could
the
be good for
series,
Pack.
gold, this is going to be an important play
Unless
here.
he's got a +4. Unless Gold has a +4, this could be really good.
The
moment
power
for
play!
Pack.
I wondered!
No power play. No,
I
no,
wondered.
Can't on Uno. Can't on Uno. Can't on Uno.
Oh, that's right!
Can't on Uno.
Oh, no, does he have a finish? I would assume not with the power play there.
Well, the question is, what was the intent? Oh, it does have green. Oh,
wait a minute. Ends it on green, draws.
If Pack had split ammo, this could be deadly. No.
Oh,
man. Yeah, Pack not playing the split ammo game. If he had another skip in tow, goodness. But again, if he had that skip, he would have already won it.
Gold finds the check
Back to yellow?
with yellow. Wait.
Hello?
He's hoping that there wasn't a good draw there for Pack. Pack plays into it with the yellow 7, and gold will finish it out. We're going to game 9.
Just mention the fact that Pack missed the Uno call, but it did not matter.
Wow.
And gold still retains the power play for a do-or-die game. That is absurd.
That is nuts.
That is absurd.
Oh, he left it open on the green skip, forced Pack to draw back. I guess the only question that I would have here, Pack, is what was the card that you top decked there? Obviously, you wanted to finish out in yellow. I'm assuming that yellow 7 was what you were looking to close it out with. What was the card that you ended up getting there off of that draw on the green skip that kind of forced you from not being able to get to the end, get that finish there to close out this series?
So, gold living in top deck heaven, because you're going to go 5.
He had double 7s
okay.
looking for the number efficiency, and the top
okay.
deck was a yellow 4, so he was
you.
stuck with 2 yellows at the end. 2 yellow numbers.
Man, so yeah, top deck heaven from gold then.
Yeah.
That wild. That is absurd because we would have been stuck in Draw City had that. That's crazy.
Wow. All right, well, we're fighting the
Just bad luck
clock.
for
We've
Pack.
gotten it up to game 9. We figured it at the beginning. The prediction was correct. Knotted at 4-4.
Nailed it.
The worst part about all of this is only one can move on. One's getting eliminated after fighting their heart out here in this series.
Game 7 Game 7 Pack.
And there we go. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Put the cherry
Yeah,
on
we always
top.
talked
Full
about
send
Pack
15.
being a Game 7 merchant, do or die home game. Here we go.
What a
here we go.
finale this is
In the
going
flesh.
to be. Only streamed game today, and that's not a problem because it has lived up to the hype for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yes.
The light switching begins.
Oh man.
Don't look at the electric
Already.
bill. You're not going to like the number.
Yeah. This is Pack
About that
versus-
about that payment, Seth's got to pay it.
Wait, what? Hold on. I'm the old man. My retirement check hasn't come in yet. I'm still waiting on my pension. Then talk to me.
Back on the pension. Oh my god.
Gold with the light switch
Yeah.
into yellow. We're going to run in yellow for a little bit here. Again, with a 15
this
card
is-
start, there has to be some ammo on both sides, right? That we're maybe holding
this
on to.
is-
We're running numbers for a while.
Yeah, this is Pack's first do or die game since the regional finals of Movie May. But apart from that series, he never had a series go the distance. Apart from that particular series, which was against Myth.
And let's remember, too, back in that last game, Gold tried the power play defensively, but it was on Uno, so it didn't count. He still has that available here for this crucial game 9.
Pack gonna go red wild.
Using the wild there to get into red.
Oh
my
my-
gosh.
wait a
Oh
minute.
my
Oh, man.
gosh.
Wait a minute.
Skip to trip
that's-
reverse back to yellow.
And a skip as well, yeah, and still only at 5 though. Just a 3-card advantage by that play. Not a bad idea from Gold. Doesn't give any cards to Pack. Doesn't give him any new options.
So we saw Pack use the wild to get it to red. That says to me he's got some ammo stored up. We saw, obviously, there the trip reverse off the skip from Gold. So the question is, does he have any more in reserve, or was that pretty much his allotment? Of course, he's got that power play to link together the cards if he needs to. Let's see what Pack answers back with. Whoa.
Oh, uh-oh. Doesn't have a yellow reverse. That could be a tough one right there.
He did a clip. He did a clip with a typo.
Oh, he does have
That
it.
is.
So I don't know what it was.
Oh, there. What? Oh no, you missed the P
Oh, he
on
missed
the
the
yellow
P.
reverse.
Yeah, he missed the P.
He
Okay,
missed the
that's
P.
all it
I was
was.
like, wait a minute. No clinch. Well, kind of clinch, sort of.
Brings it over into green. And then brings it into red. Gold answers back, says we're staying in green. He's
Not
at
so
three.
fast, my friend.
He's at 3. Pack's got to think here. He's got to remember the power play's there. He'll continue to run in green. Does Gold have something here with the power play? Do we see it here? Does he need one more card?
Oh, plays the 6, gold with the 2. Oh my goodness.
Oh, man, down to check. No
Edge of
power
your seat,
play.
folks. This is
no power play yet.
even.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
for
Gold's
the
gonna win it.
series.
Oh.
Gold holds on to that power play till game 9. The number efficiency at the end. The green to the yellow 6. Of course, we end off this series on a light switch. Why wouldn't we? It's been light switch
Why wouldn't?
city here in this
Jesus.
series. And Gold is
Oh.
going to take it. The last remaining of our number 1 seeds will not be advancing into the round of 8. Gold pulls off the seeding upset and takes the series 5-4.
Man. You can ask Gold if you want.
Gold, I mean, having that power play almost seemed like maybe the key here. The number efficiency in this game and the entire series has been off the charts. We saw you utilize it here again here in Game 9. Having that power play available here in Game 9, how did that help you as far as being able to stay on the offensive here and be able to take this series?
Boy.
And then Pack, commiserations, man. As I said, I hate the fact that in a series like this, one's moving on and one gets eliminated, but fought your heart out. Incredible showing here. Somebody said maybe series of the tournament, and I'm going to maybe make a strong argument for it with what we saw here. I mean, it was just so unpredictable. Normally, as a commentator, you're not on the edge of your seat. You're able to get some good reads. I was in the dark this entire thing, even though probably because half the time we had the light switch off and then half the time we had the light switch on. But regardless of that fact, I mean, yeah, Fitzy says absolute cinema. The experience here with what took place, as you said, this kind of added in a new aspect of style of play for you, scenarios that you hadn't met before. How do you think this is going to prepare you here for T5? As here today, obviously locked into the Super League and everything, and this I think is just going to make you a more dangerous player when we get to T5 and then into that Super League as well. Pack says felt if he kept the power play for later, the last game could have gone another way, but had to use to avoid going down 2-0 early on. By far best series he's played all year, and hope gold goes the rest of the way. Again, yeah, that power play was the difference maker, but, you know, I go back to that game too when he utilized it. I completely understand it. And he made a game, even being down the power play, he made a game of it here in Game 9.
Yes.
Easily could have flipped the script and taken the power play for gold completely out of the equation. So the fact that he was able to draw this into a Game 9 and make Game 9 even as close as it was down the power play, not many people are able to do that.
No, not at all. This is wonderful set. There's no doubt about it. Pack saying the series really showed me I didn't expect the unexpected. I said it earlier, this series like playing against myself, so play against it now. Me and Gold play again in T5 or even Super League. I know what to expect. Yeah, I think you and Gold will only play had it if it's like late in the tournament to the rematches. But again, Seth, this is like a couple of game wins difference from being the finale of Movie May, because Gold's there and Brad beat him by 2. And again, quality wins. Yeah, he knows this is his resume. Yeah, but like this could have easily been a finale, and it was really befitting of game. So we'll see how it all goes down. Obviously, this is a big win for Gold. Looking very good on the Super League resume. So it's very possible that these two could hook up again there as well. But just what a great win from Gold, but a great series from Pack, just over an hour long. But it had everything. You had all the not so fast. You had a few Plan A games sprinkled in there, and ultimately that power play was key. And just hats off to both. Just a tremendous series.
Absolutely.
We have bangers only here, Seth. We're 2 for 2 together.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. I mean, my goodness, what more can you say about this series? And we're going to be in just a minute here showing the updated bracket and everything. But you know, you feel great for Gold, you feel badly for Pack. But I'll tell you who else I feel bad for, and that's 2 individuals, and that would be Nam and Brian, because one of those 2 is going to have to face off against someone that has been battle tested here today in Gold. Whether it been Gold or Johnson moving on, there's a tough road ahead here in the Spades region for those guys in that upcoming game tomorrow.
Whoever did that, come on, man. No, this was great. It definitely not an opponent to look past. Whoever is going to be moving on tomorrow afternoon between those 2, it's going to be a great regional final for sure.
Absolutely. So there you see it. Verigold moves on in a 5-4 victory. Will make an appearance here in Jackpot June in the established 8, taking on the winner established tomorrow at 2 p.m. between Nam and Brian. This our only streamed game, and there you see your winner. There's the 3 games that will be taking place later on tonight. Non-streamed, Brad versus Arya, G-Man versus Lane, Toaster versus Lara. All 3 remaining regions have action here from 7 o'clock onward. And then we continue on Jackpot June Straight 16 tomorrow afternoon and start to establish more that will move on into their respective established 8s. But thank you all for tuning in to this one here today, our only streamed game of the day. It was a classic, absolute cinematic here. Light switches galore, clone playing, answers back, call and response, and Verigold comes out on top. Short, I appreciate you joining me here on commentary. As you said, we have nothing but bangers here. This was
Bangers
an incredible one tonight. We appreciate Tago being our referee. Congratulations to a well-played set between both players here, Pac Johnson and Verigold. Best of luck to Verigold going forward here in Jackpot June. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the continuation here of the round of 16 here in the 2025 T4 Jackpot June tournament on the MRE YouTube channel. We'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon for more action as Jackpot June continues.
This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.